Welcome to the greatest English language learning channel in the galaxy, a channel called English for Emerson. Today, I come to you in somewhat challenging circumstances from a small rental cottage in the hills of North Carolina. So if the lighting isn't quite perfect, you're just going to have to deal with it, and so am I. Here we go. We've been working on basic English language conversation. And when you have a conversation with someone, naturally you ask a lot of questions and answer a lot of questions. And that's what we've been doing. Questions and answers. We've talked about things like, what's your name? How you doing? Where are you from? What's your favorite movie? Today, we're going to start thinking about what it would be like to go into a restaurant, something like that. You walk in, you sit down, and what's the waitress or the waiter going to say to you when they come up to the table? Probably something like, how you doing today? And then they're probably going to ask, what can I get for you? Now, that's not guaranteed. I'd say that's more than 50% of the time they would say that. They might also say, are you ready to order? I'm going to write some of these up here. Are you ready to order? Or maybe they'll say, do you need more time? Or maybe they'll say, have you made up your mind? Or maybe they'll say, what's up, Doc? I don't know. But usually they're going to say, what can I get for you? Maybe, if they're very polite, may I take your order? But probably, what can I get for you? And that's what we're going to put down here today. What can I get for you? That question is going to start with a W, capital W. I'm right up here. When I do these words on this channel, we use 3 lines to make our words. I'm going to show you how that works right now. I start at the top line for a capital W. I'm going to go through the midline down to the bottom. You see there, I take up the space between 3 lines. There we go. Top, middle, and bottom. From the top, through the middle, down to the bottom. This is going to help me keep my letters sized correctly. Then I'm going to go up on the diagonal, above the midline, back down to the bottom line, and then back up for a capital W. Next letter in the word what is going to be a lowercase h. Starting from the top line, down to the bottom, straight, and then one hill up to the midline and down. Next letter on what is a lowercase a. Starts like a lowercase c. Then we connect it from the midline down to the bottom. The little tail there. And then lastly, to finish up, what is going to be a lowercase t. This starts below the top line, where I do it about like that, straight down, and then I cross it at the midline. That spells what. Next word in this is going to be can. What can I get for you today? That starts with a lowercase c. The word can begins with a hard C. It does not start with a K, even though it would sound like it would. This is going to be done with a hard C. Can, next letter is A. So it kind of looks like 2 C's. Nope. But connect it down. And then N, can. Lowercase n starts in the midline down to the bottom, and then one hill. I'm going to have to sit way over here to be able to do this. What can, and the next one is an I. You know, I think an I is the only word in the English language that has one letter that it's always capitalized. I think so. We capitalize the word I. So we're going to go with a straight line down, I have to stand up to do this because I'm on the edge here. And then a bar at the top and a bar at the bottom. There. What can I? For some reason, I is capitalized. I don't know why. Every time. What can I get for you today? G. G. Can you think of the letter that might start get? G. It's a G. A hard G. That's going to begin like a lowercase c. I'm down here now. I'm beginning below the midline. Like a lowercase c, then I connect it from the midline down through the bottom line below the bottom line. This is one of the only letters in this sentence that's going to go below the bottom line. Lowercase g. Now, get, next letter is going to be a lowercase e. I start between the midline and the bottom line. I go up here to the midline and wrap it around. And then lowercase t. What can I get? What can I get for you today? Next word is for. Starts with a lowercase f. I think all the rest of the letters in this sentence will be lowercase. I think so. For begins between the top and the midline, up to the top, and all the way down to the bottom. Kind of a little droopy top. Cross it at the midline. And then an lowercase o starts at the midline counterclockwise. And then a lowercase r from the midline, and then one little hill and stop. What can I get for? And then we got the word you. Y-O-U spells you. We got to start with a lowercase y. Start at the midline. What can I get for you? Diagonal from the midline down to the bottom line, and then back up here to the midline, cross it, and go below the bottom line. Like the G, we go below the bottom line on the lowercase u, on the lowercase y. Y-O-U. O. And then U. I put a little tail on my U. That's very well written. What can I get for you? Now there's so many different ways, as they say, strange expression. We say in English, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. I don't know how they came up with that. But they might stop here. They might stop here. What can I get for you? Or they might add the word today. I don't know. But we're going to write in today just for a little bit more language writing practice. What can I get for you? Or what can I get for you today? Well, let's add today. Starts with a lowercase t. Come on, there we go. That's better. Cross it at the midline. Then an O. Believe it or not, O can make the sound oo. Today. That's all one word, today. The lowercase d starts like a lowercase c, and then we send a line from the top to connect it all the way down to the bottom. And then an AY. A and That's not a very good A. That's better. Sort of. And then Y. Kind of writing in a funny position here. There we go. What can I get for you today? That's a question, so we end it with a question mark. Up to the top, down through the midline, and then a dot. Very good. That's all I've got for you today is what can I get for you today? You're going to hear this a lot, especially if you go into a restaurant or a cafe. That's what they're going to probably ask you. What can I get for you? What can I get for you today? And you might also hear this in other stores that you go into, like if you go to a shoe store, something like that. What can I get for you today? If you get a job someday as a waiter or working in a store, you're going to have to say this all the time. Oh my gosh, I say this a lot. What can I get for you today? What can I get for you? If you work at a gas station, I had a job at a gas station. Now that was back in the days when we had to fill up another person's gas. They didn't come in and fill their own tank. I had to fill it for them. Every single. What can I get for you today? 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 Oh my gosh. Wore a groove in my tongue, I think. There you go. The next time that we do a lesson, we're going to order something in that restaurant. It'll be a big time. We'll have a lot of fun with it. Okay, there we go. That's all I got for you today on English for Emerson. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.